global banks have been scaling back, and the Royal Bank of Scotland may be the next lender to wield the axe. The bank is due to announce a swath of jobs cuts this week. Poppy Trowbridge is following this story for us. We're talking thousands of jobs.
Thousands, yeah, but that's the new norm when it comes to global banking. Either hire by the thousands or you fire by the thousands, and right now it's the era of cutting. Now, RBS's investment banking unit is the place we're talking about losing all of these jobs. It's worth a third of the bank's entire revenues on a yearly basis, and CEO Hester may make an announcement as early as this week about cutting jobs there. This is because if he leaves it any longer, it could weigh on productivity as people wonder if they're going to be employed in a few days. Now, he's set to announce the closure of the equities and corporate finance units. Now, that, like you said, could be 4,000 to 5,000 jobs. But that's not it, Lindsay. He's going to also announce the closure of cash equities, equity research, corporate broking, even M&A amongst all of that. And this is because Hester's got some very, very tough targets. The toughest of all is repaying that taxpayer bailout, but also he's trying to get return on equity to around 13%. So very clear financial targets.
Are these cuts going to be enough? Is 5,000 going to do the trick?
Well, JP Morgan says no. They say that that is insufficient. Just cutting is insufficient. Now, the analysts there say that you also have to control costs. And one of the biggest costs for a bank is, of course, salaries and bonuses, and restraining that kind of capital expenditure also has to be done alongside just cutting jobs.
Has Hester been able to put the bank on a growth path forward?
I think the shares would say no. They're down about 50% this year. They are performing worse than some of their peers. The shares are down about 26% since Hester took over, but to be fair, he's got a really giant steamship to turn around here. His predecessor, Fred Goodwin, if you remember him, made acquisitions worth $140 billion. Now, Hester has already slashed assets by $1 trillion. He's working at it, but there's a really big mountain to climb here, Lindsay.
All right, Poppy Trowbridge, thank you very much.